they'll definitely hit your Butler three if I feel like,
Hoping
especially
so.
without Steph playing.
So we have to talk about it. We just texted back and forth. Let's game finish, but Knicks end up beating game 4. Final score 121. I would love to hear
comfortably, if you ask me. I didn't catch most of the first half coming home from work, but that second half was like pretty comfortable. Knicks had momentum. I know they didn't take the lead there till a little through the third quarter, but after that it was just smooth sailing. I mean, obviously you had the Tatum injury, so we'll see what that turns into. But they weren't down 20 points like the first two games.
Only 14 today. 14 was the high. Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't know. Knicks looking pretty good.
So it's funny when you kind of think back to the Cat trade, the Bridges trade, even the Anunoby trade from last year, and the whole reason they're building this version of this team is to compete with Boston. That's it. Like there doesn't nobody else cares. It is only how can we get through the Celtics in this iteration of the team that they've built, right? Because the team that they have, win the title last year. They're always competing. They're always a top 2 seed in the East. So if you can find a way to get past that last hurdle, in theory, you should be the best team in the East. Now, of course, that doesn't count for the Cavaliers having a great season, but you look at the regular season this year, and we lost all 4 games against them. 3 of them were by at least 15 points, I believe, or at least 13 points. 2 of them were 20, so it's like those weren't even close games. I mean, even the beat writer for the Knicks, I'm like blogging in and reading all the articles, and it's like, like what are the pros? People who do this for a living, what are they thinking about it? And even the beat writer today was like, this is like a do or die game for the Knicks. Like being up 2-1 doesn't matter. And I think to come out as they did, I don't know. It's fun. It's fun to watch. It was a great game. Almost like I almost feel. Well, I hate to say feel bad for a team that won the title last year, but Tatum going down, that sucks. Especially such a fun game that's going back and forth.
Indeed, and
we'll see.
Injuries are unfortunate, but it is a part of the game. So I mean, we got other teams going through the same stuff.
I mean, your boy Steph, same thing.
Yep, same thing. He's not even going to be reevaluated until Tuesday. So, I mean, that report comes out tomorrow morning, afternoon, maybe. We'll see if they're even going to risk trying to put him in. I think how it goes tonight in this game 4 here, I think that will have a lot to do with how that goes tomorrow. Even if he is okay, if they win, do they see if they can go one more without him?
Okay. Well, what would you do? You're the Celtics here. I mean, sorry, you're the Warriors here.
I think if he's 100%, and I'd even say 110% good to go on Tuesday's report, then why not throw him in? I think if he's anything 85 or less, maybe 90 or less, and you win game 4, so it's 2-2, I think you sit him out. And give him an extra 1-2 days to recover. You're 2-2. You go from 1 game away from the Wolves, or you risk being 1 game away from the Wolves, taking the whole thing. But I think with the way the T-Wolves have looked against the Warriors in particular, like Anthony Edwards, relatively quiet. And to be honest, Steph went out game one. They didn't really do anything fancy in game one to make it interesting. Like I was never
Sure.
nervous. The Warriors won game one. That was it. They blew us out game two, but even then they got it down to within 7. And that game to me was a lot more of the Warriors losing that game than it was the T-Wolves winning that game. So, and there's more things I can go into with how that game 2 went down, because the Wolves definitely like took it to us. Don't get me wrong. They beat us by like 24 or 25. But that game 3 was a whole hell of a lot closer. And if I'm the T-Wolves, my fingers are crossed. I'm praying. I'm not praying anyone's injured, but I'm praying we don't have to play against Steph Curry anytime soon. Because we already know what's going to happen when he comes back.
Sure.
Bring your umbrellas, bring your ponchos, whatever you want. It's going to be raining. We know it. This is what superstars do. So if just as you were mentioning that this was a must-win game for the Celtics, I think with the Warriors basically, team A 1.5 or 1.1 without Curry is crawling closer and closer to beating the T-Wolves with all of their guys. And that's a scary thought if I'm them.
Yeah, I mean, I think at full strength, I think I don't know if the Warriors really have a problem with this series. Full strength, right? Curry at 100%. And I think the issue is now you have to think, okay, so let's, God forbid you lose tonight. So you 3-1, let's say you push his recovery, Curry comes back game 5. What's he looking like? Because there's no way he's at 100.
Is he at 100 in this scenario?
I would have to think probably not. Being out for so long and then potentially making it back. Just because they need him.
And here's why I'm so hesitant with this is because we did the same thing to Durant and ended up getting re-injured. And
right. Same thing with Clay.
Same thing with Clay. And even in my own personal experience playing sports growing up, like in high school, I got injured. I tried to come back too fast, got injured again in a different way. Like I never gave myself that time to fully recover. I just wanted to get back out there, as all athletes do. But, it's imperative to make sure your body's healed and there's no tweaks or kinks in there at all. You get your rehab, get your recovery in. Now we're talking a hamstring strain, so I don't know how much rehab we're going to have to do for that. Probably rest ice, staying off your feet.
He's also an old man. We have to take that into consideration.
And being 30 myself, for him being 30, I can't imagine it's the regenerative properties are any quicker. Definitely know that's not true. But if he's had a week to rest it and not play, and he's 100%, I think he's fine. Maybe a slow start in the first quarter, but it's going to be fourth quarter Curry.
Oh, absolutely. I did read that the last game, so game 3, he took part in the pregame, pretty strenuous workout just to see if he could handle it. But I guess we'll see if that continues today or not. Like you said, he's not going to get reevaluated until next week. So I don't know. I mean, so watching the game now, Warriors just went up 5-0. Like, what do you think? What has to go right tonight for the Warriors to tie up?
I think cleaning up the turnovers. First things first, and I mentioned this in the chat. Curry being gone has nothing to do with bad passes. Maybe it has something to do with some of the timing and the plays, but I'm talking we're bringing the ball down the court and we're trying to make a contested pass lazily, and it just goes. It was just a wild pass. Podziemski in the second half, I think it was. I'm like, dude, what are we doing? Like that's not even allowed at ball at the park. You know,
Yeah,
you're
just
gonna
play
get
with your
shit on.
friends.
Yeah, you're gonna get shit on. You're not gonna get picks next game, just so you know. And so I'm sitting there frustrated because it's like, well, we're putting together some offensive series, and credit to the T-Wolves defense. They definitely held us to several shot clock violations, especially in that game too. So, but it has nothing to do with bad passes, overthrown balls, just interceptions. Like the offense was definitely lackluster, and I know Curry's an important asset to it. I, I don't want to say he's the whole offense though. Like you shouldn't remove him and everything just breaks down. Like and that's not the case. And I think if we clean up the turnovers, I think if Jimmy Butler tries to get to the foul line a lot more frequently, he did a lot better in game 3. In point production and getting to the line than he did in game 2. It seemed like their plan in game 2 was have Jimmy drive, try to draw attention because he is the guy now, and kick, but that was not working at all. And we ended up getting shot clock violations, turning it over, bad passes, just giving them easy possessions. And the T-Wolves aren't playing great. Julius Randle's going off, but Anthony Edwards hasn't been playing like he was playing against LeBron and Luka.
No, and I do have to. I mean, we do have to savors for a second. Like Minnesota, I think is a more straight up talented team. It just seems like they can never put it together all at the same time. But if they were to all show up with their A game, for instance, like I don't think the Warriors could play on the same court as them. But it never happens. Right? Julius is never at his A game plus Anthony Edwards plus Rudy Gobert. It just doesn't happen. And I think that's how you got your win. So I don't know. It'll be interesting, and especially with how the other side of the West. I guess we'll just jump straight into the other games too. How the other side of the West is looking. Like there is a path for one of these two teams to the finals.
I agree. I think the Nuggets and OKC is going not exactly as I planned it, at least as I thought it was going to go. I thought
It's
OKC was going to be able to just, yeah, I thought they were just going to be able to walk over these guys. It's tied 2-2.
Yeah,
and I thought they were just going to roll right through them, like 4-1, maybe sweep. I may have even said sweep.
I think the issue here, though, if you're Oklahoma City, obviously they get the home game now for Game 5. Let's say they come out, they dominate like they did. I think it was Game 2. If that happens again, I do think the series is over because I don't know if Denver can stay put off for 2 games in a row. But if it flips and it's Oklahoma City who drops Game 5 here, like total toss up for me. So that'll be a fun one.
I think I'll be flipping a coin on that one. Regardless of when they play next, should be tomorrow.
Let me see what that schedule is. So tomorrow we have the 7 p.m. That's Pacers Cavs, which is not looking good for Cleveland. And yeah, there's that 9:30.
Favorite.
Yeah, they are, but I think it depends on how Donovan Mitchell's if he's going to play or not.
Fair.
He was out most of that second half, if not all of it. And then your 9:30 is your Denver at Oklahoma City. So I don't know, man. It's fun. One of the more exciting playoffs so far that I can think of. Oh, Minnesota just took the lead for the first time. They was just talking about it, Anthony Edwards. But that's a sidebar conversation. That's not the main reason that we jumped on. The main reason we jumped on is we are coming to the end of soccer season. So we have Nate who just jumped on. And we won't talk too much about his own team, but we want some of his thoughts on what the Champions League finals going. Like, Nate, how's it going?
Hey, what's up? I finally figured it out. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
We can hear you. How's it going, man?
Let's go. Yeah, I don't know what was going on with my Discord. Been a while since I turned it on, but I made it here. Sorry I'm a little late.
You're good. We were just talking basketball.
Yeah, I'm watching Minnesota Golden State right now. Did you already talk about the Knicks? I mean, how about those Knickerbockers?
I know. We talked a little bit about it. We were texting back and forth during the game. I think it was fun, but I think the Tatum injury kind of puts like a sour taste in your mouth a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, nice. Since 2000, the Knicks have a chance to make it to the Eastern Finals. I mean, that's pretty cool. And you know what I was thinking about? I actually watched the whole game. I had a rained out soccer night at the fields, so had a rare
Nice.
night to just sit on the couch, chill, flip on the Knicks. And you know what I was thinking about? Jalen Brunson. I really like
What?
that dude. First of all, he kind of has like to segue into soccer. He kind of has like a messy style. He literally
Yeah.
is like a little. His center of gravity drops real low, bounces off these guys, and then the left hand like can shoot from anywhere. I was like, dude, am I seeing a soccer Messi?
Like, hey, you know this
Um,
all NBA all-star player? Like, he's pretty good.
the way he plays, he's like so low to the ground. I'm like, wow, he can't get the ball off him. He's
No,
actually
he's
sick.
so much fun. He's so much
He's
fun to
actually
watch.
crazy.
He is. He is very fun to watch. I
Yeah.
can confirm also like that guy.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Mhm.
Terrell, from a neutral's perspective, I'm sure. Like, I'd love to hear. Like, you're talking about two Knicks fans. That's not. We're going to tell you, campaign
We
off the
love
bench
him.
is the best player in the world. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say he's the best player in the NBA or best point guard even. I think we know. I mean, we were just talking about him, but that's my favorite. But I can see Brunson
Style.
being in that conversation,
Maybe
if not by
Messi's a
the end of his
bad.
career, but here in the
Yeah.
next, we'll see how this finals goes, because right now he's about to take out the defending champion. You know, knock on wood, but up 3-1, very comfortable position. He gets him a championship this young. He'll be in that conversation sooner than later.
I was going to say
I
he's
like
only
that. I
27,
like that
28
he's
years
leading.
old.
He's leading as well. I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's a fun run they're on right now. It's fun. It's fun to see your teams do well, especially if
Finally.
like
Yeah.
nobody gave them a chance coming into this series either.
Yourself included.
Yeah, I'm still not giving us great odds, but it's hard. It's hard when you had a good regular season against everybody but the best teams, and then you get matched up with one of these great teams, and you're like, oh, this is kind of our ceiling. Right? I mean, for me and you talked about this like 2 months ago. Like, I always thought this was the end of the road for us. So for it not to be is really exciting, because then it's like, oh well, I don't actually know what our ceiling is. So I kind of get to find out as we play.
Hey, maybe it changes this year. That's what these star players, they probably get fed up not beating these teams. I don't know. And you got a nice supporting cast. I mean, the team's looking good. So it's like maybe this is the year that they surpassed one of these giants. And then if they're playing Cleveland, I mean, we should be able to go. I don't know. Or who's it going to be? The Pacers? Yeah,
It's
they're up 3-1, right?
probably
Yeah,
going to be the Pacers.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they're good, but
Either
all
good, and
Knicks
they also
maybe.
knocked us out last year. So a little bit of revenge this year would be awesome.
Who do you think will be in the final? Like, who do you think will win the West?
My pick from the start was always Oklahoma City, but I think that the winner of the Denver OKC series probably takes the whole thing. That's my guess. I don't know if Minnesota or Golden State without a healthy Steph can win another series.
I think currently Monday night, May 12th. I actually think that T-Wolves.
Okay.
Strangely enough. I think by the time they get to the finals, because I'm saying this right now. Curry's hurt. We're in the middle of game 4, so who knows how this one's going to go. But if the T-Wolves pull this one out, I think they take the series, and I think they beat whoever comes out of Denver
Okay.
and OKC, especially if it's Denver, in my opinion.
Well, I'll tell you, I would pay big money to see a Minnesota and New York NBA Finals with the players that got traded in the offseason.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I kind
Stressful.
of want to see. I want to see Jimmy buckets in the final again.
Yeah, so
I
does
also
Turrel.
want to see Jimmy buckets in the final. Yeah, for Golden State for sure, but I also like Jimmy as a player, and I know we probably won't keep him forever. So I just like him as a player and want to watch that in the finals.
Yeah, me too. Just some really good
Bro,
players going at it,
does that
blow for
make
blow.
you exactly? Does that make you like enjoy like the Josh Hart? I feel like it's like similar quality, or even like a Russell Westbrook now. Like really similar qualities. As like a, I think
I'm not the
I
big
think Butler gets
Westbrook
is
fan,
bigger. Okay,
but that's just me. I'm a little bit of a hater. Great
Just a
player,
little bit.
but he shoots 40 times and has 40 points, and everyone's like, "Oh, he did so good." And it's like, well, yeah, but 10 of those points were free throws, so like, ugh, you know, um,
Not the
40
most
shot
efficient.
attempts and 40 points is not good. But I
I
mean,
guess I just mean like demeanor and how Jimmy Butler
how they carry
really
themselves and
play.
stuff.
Yeah.
I do enjoy watching the passionate players. I mean, one I can think of is Draymond. I hate the fouls, but the man's out there giving 110% and he cares. So, if you're gonna
Yeah, I
mess
hate
up,
that dude.
mess
I
up at
hate that dude.
110%. Everyone that's not a Warriors fan hates it.
But I like what you're saying, and I respect him. I do respect his hustle, but I hate him.
Right. It's like, why did you have to get that flagrant and get kicked out? But at the same time, like you're sprinting, diving, and your energy is just surpasses everything else. So it's just something
It's
you
funny.
deal
It's
with.
like it's the one guy you want on your team, but you hate when he's on anybody else's team.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I would like that'd be so nice to have like a defensive guy like that, but then you're like, oh well, we're playing against him and man, or whatever he like the little tricks and stuff that he does. But yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, entertaining. You never know what he's gonna do any night.
Yeah,
You
you
never
never
know
know
what
if
he's
he's
gonna do
gonna
next.
punch his own teammate in the face
That
or
was at
something.
practice.
That was at practice. We're talking about practice.
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 He looks
But yeah,
old
so
out
that's
there.
I mean, Draymond, I think he's 35.
No, I think he's older than that.
No, Steph's only. I think Steph just. We talked about last week. Steph's 37, turning 38.
And what's
He
Draymond? Same
was
thing?
no. Draymond's younger.
35.
Yeah, 35.
Wow. He's got gray in his beard.
Yeah, but if he cleaned the beard up, he'd look 25. Charlie, you want to talk a little bit about? Did you see the draft lottery finished?
I did. I don't know how Minnesota got first. Or I'm sorry, not Minnesota, Dallas.
Dallas, yeah.
Like, I mean, so they just get Flag. I was critical of Flag on our
Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were.
college basketball. I was critical. I don't know. We'll see. I think for me, he would have made that shot.
Okay.
But
Big hater energy over here. Okay.
yeah, if he would have made that shot, I might be a little bit more of a fan. I'm also not a Duke fan either. But for them to get him, which I assume is what they're going to do unless they try to trade it for something, I guess we'll
That's an
see what this
interesting
kid can
point you
do
bring
because
up.
he's on a team that just lost a superstar.
Well, I wanted to piggyback off that. So Dallas only had a 1.8% chance of getting number one, which whatever, you could use the R word, whatever people think it's going to be. But what do you wake up and you're the GM of the Mavericks tomorrow? You're Nico Harrison tomorrow. What are you doing with that pick? Are you just going to take Flag, or are you looking to trade it?
You trade it for Giannis?
Wow.
Oh, boy. You press the big red button.
Yeah, I would.
Why not?
Okay, if you're Milwaukee, do you do that?
No. Yeah,
Probably not.
Yeah, you can't get
No.
rid of Giannis.
It would have to be Giannis mixed with a couple other things.
Well, okay, so let me give you the backstory. So obviously, Giannis loses in the first round. This is now 3 years in a row that Milwaukee's crashed out in the first round. They have one title in 2021 over the Suns, and Giannis has 3 MVPs and a DPOY. He signed his extension, so he's due to make, I think the number was like $62 or $63 million a year starting. I don't know if it's next year or the year after. It's a 4-year deal. So he's going to make a ton of money. So then if you are Dallas, one, you got to obviously make sure you have cap space, but you just moved Luka because you didn't want to pay him. So do you, like you said, do you take the cheap talent in Cooper Flag, hope it works out, especially if you're in win now because of Anthony Davis's age? I don't know, man.
That
if
sounds
could
like
trade,
what they'll do.
what, you think trade him?
Yeah,
Trade
no,
him?
I think they'll take Cooper Flag, and I mean, ride with a American young, marketable project. I think he's pretty good. Could work out if you get a couple more players.
Yeah, no, I mean they did not have a good back half of their year after trading away Luka, but
I mean, if you're Dallas and you trade away Luka because you don't want to pay him because whatever the owner or GM said about it, and you pick up Flag and look to rebuild, I mean, I guess it's not a horrible option. But how long do you give that?
That's what I'm saying. That's a long term.
Like,
Well,
you either
Anthony
want to
Davis,
3 deal.
3 years.
yeah, 3 years I think is probably fair.
I don't think it's going to be a playoff run first year.
I mean,
Definitely not.
no, but they did. I mean, they were in the playing game, so you're looking at like they're a 9 or 10 seed at the moment, and that was with guys who were hurt, guys who missed time. So you assume full year of putting everybody back together, and then you add in a Cooper Flag, say maybe you get in as a play-in team again. You're certainly not going further than that right now. But if you trade for Giannis, like, does that take you to, especially in the West, like top 6, top 5 team, maybe? Like, here, let me put this up for you.
Turrel, do you not think he's good?
He might be like just a tad overrated. It's not that I don't think he's good.
Yeah, I can see that.
And
Right,
I
so
don't,
here's my
I was
question
looking
for
at the mock draft. I don't think there's anyone even close to 2, at least for this college draft.
I would say there's 2. I mean, Ace Bailey is a good second pick, as well as Dylan Harper, right? Let's give it that 2-3. I think after the 3 pick, it really drops off. So you're looking at Spurs and 76ers are probably still getting a serviceable player at the moment. All right, so here's my question for you. So here's this roster. So you got Kyrie, you got Anthony Davis, you have PJ Washington, Klay Thompson, Dinwiddie, Brandon Williams, Exum, after PJ Washington. I mean, it's a fine team. They were the 10 seed, right? I think that's thing number 1. 39 and 43. Let's say you pick up Giannis instead of taking Cooper Flag, does that make them better than the Sacramento Kings?
Mm, I mean, I think honestly, maybe.
Right? Does that make them better than the Memphis Grizzlies?
Ugh. My recent history of the Grizzlies is horrible because they got pretty poorly swept. I mean, by the best team in the West. I think
Okay.
it does. I think it might.
Okay. Does that make them better than the Golden State Warriors?
No,
Okay. So then yeah,
no.
that would push them right. That would push them right to that 7-8 seed, top end of the plan. So maybe, man, I don't. That's interesting. I had not thought about that, but maybe that's what they look to do. If he was smart, and I know that Giannis is exploring for where he wants to go, so I'd give him a call.
Yeah, I saw that. I think that came out today, this weekend. Giannis saying, "Hey, open to potential spots outside of Milwaukee."
Which again, he got drafted there. He's been there his whole career, so that would be a biggest trade since Luka. maybe that is surprising because it's not a shock because he's going to come out and say where he wants to go. But it almost feels like LeBron-ish, right? This is a guy who has a title, was MVP multiple times, almost like kind of picking his next destination. He's going to want to win somewhere. He's not going to want to go to a bad team. So we'll see. That would be fun. That'll be fun to keep an eye on. Yeah. Anyways, kind of alluded to it earlier. I wanted to talk a little bit of soccer. We're at the end here, and Champions League. The final is I think next weekend after.
May
We have
31st, I believe.
okay, so 2 weeks. But Turrel, you said you did a little soccer viewing. And you saw some of these semifinal games.
I did, I believe, if I didn't sit down and watch because I had to work, I at least had it on and was listening. The one moment, the Barca game. I mean,
Phenomenal.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, and okay.
Cinema.
First of all, I'm pretty sure all these games had a goal in the first like 5 minutes. Maybe the last one didn't, but I remember turning on a game and literally getting the speaker hooked up, turning it on, turning around, goal. And I was like, okay, what are we about to in for? Are we in for some crazy shit right here? I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. And I think that ended 3-3 that first leg.
Yep.
Like, these games are crazy.
Yeah, Nate, what'd you think?
I've been loving just watching I don't know, the caliber on display. It's cool when you think, Lamine Yamal is only 17 and you're watching him dance around, and then it looks like, okay, Barca's Barca and they're gonna Barca, and then Inter. I don't know why I'm just rooting for them lately more and more as I get older in life, because defense wins, counterattacking wins, passion is winning. I don't know. It's cool. Those guys, they came back. Got dudes I don't even know scoring on Barca in the 105th minute to tie the game. Stuff like that is why you love it.
Yeah, I think that's why they say it's why you watch the game, right? I mean, to have if you're Inter and you're getting that matchup and you're like, oh, we have to play Barcelona over 2 legs who are having this great season. There's no way you're thinking we're going to score at least 3 goals in each game. So to have that happen it's exciting. It's different, right? It makes it worth watching. As much as the real sickos out there could watch a 0-0 game and be like, yeah, that was great ball. For everybody, for the rest of the world, it's
Also
nice to
me.
kind of that's what I mean. For the rest of the world, it's kind of like, oh, hey, like this is fun. You're gonna learn these players, watch these teams, and now we're set up for a PSG Inter Milan final.
Yeah, let's talk about that PSG Arsenal leg. I really enjoyed Arsenal beating Madrid, even though I've been rooting for that Galacticos young boys Galacticos team. But I mean, to see PSG win without Mbappe, without Messi, I'm happy for Dembele. I
Without
feel like
Neymar,
without Neymar. Yup. I feel like he's been written off. Watching Vitinha play in the midfield. I mean, Fabian Ruiz. I think those guys are so good, and all these French wingers that are just popping up like a production factory. Barcola, the strike. I'm like, where is PSG coming up with these dudes with dreads that
just
are
pick
all
them off the
good?
street. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's been cool. And I think Arsenal. I mean, I know you want to talk about Liverpool and the Premier League, but I don't feel like doing that. Arsenal has been on a good plan the past couple years, so it is cool to see like, okay, Arteta and Odegaard, and they've been trusting the process. I would have liked to actually see them win, but hey, I'll take it. PSG, Inter. I kind of, I don't know. I maybe want to see PSG win, but I just got something for Italian soccer these days. No one loves it more than those guys. So
I'm
I,
full
I
on.
think I think Inter's taking it. Inter's taking it.
Yeah, the Italians have my support. I think that's gonna be a great game.
Mm-hmm.
This is a full chaos game though. This is not going to be like a 1-0 in the 90th
Where
minute.
is it?
No, this is
It's
going to
in
be.
Munich.
We double check that.
I think it's in Munich or
It
something.
is. Yep, Munich, Allianz Arena.
Yeah, that's at Bayern Stadium. That's crazy.
Where Inter just went and won. So, or not? Yeah, not Inter. No, who beat Bayern Munich?
Who beat Bayern in a Champions League final?
No, this year.
Oh, to knock him out.
Inter.
Yeah, two ties ago or last tie.
It was Inter. Wasn't
Yeah, yeah, it was last round.
Okay,
Last
so
round.
yes, my point stands. So yes, Inter did have to. Inter did go to Allianz and play.
They fight their way up every year. They fight through every round.
Yeah, Inter Milan beat them. Oh, they tied 2-2. Oh no, yeah, Inter Milan beat them 2-1 in Munich. Yeah, they're fun. Honestly, like that's you want to talk about like sitting around and naming dudes. Have you looked at the roster?
For Inter,
Yeah.
you know who's a serious threat on set pieces for Inter?
Who?
Dumfries, our boy.
Yes,
He
Denzel
he
Dumfries.
he's been he was so good, and he had 2 goals off corners. I think in the last 2 games.
He
It's
former Manchester United outside back Matteo Darmian.
yeah, got dropped by Manchester United, now balling.
Former French and World Cup winner Benjamin Pavard.
Yep. He played at Bayern.
Other Man U player Henrik Mkhitaryan.
How crazy.
God,
He played at Man U what seems like 10 years ago in the Stone Ages. And he's in
former
the Champions League final.
Stoke City legend Marko Arnautovic. Look at who else here.
Laturo, legend.
Yeah, but he's been there forever though.
Yeah, legend.
Yeah, no, they're fun. That would be okay. So what's your prediction here?
I'm going penalty kicks, Inter.
Okay. Is there a score before that?
2-2.
Oh, 2-2. Okay.
1-1 going into no, it might be even more than that. 2-2 going into extra overtime, and then
6-6 going into penalties.
3-3 going into penalties.
Okay. Really, what you got?
I got PSG 2-1.
Yeah, that's a good call too.
Right. I'm taking Inter straight up 3-2.
A lot of goals.
A lot of goals. Another late one too. From a nobody outside back that is way too high to field.
Let's talk about the better of the European finals for a sec.
Let's talk about your 16th placed Manchester United. Go ahead.
I mean, to see a struggling club in its darkest days have the chance to make the
Struggling
Champions
giant.
League. We have the chance to make the Champions League next season, which could alter our whole offseason and could give Ruben Amorim the ammo he needs to bring us back to the promised land. Maybe not. But, hey, I just want to beat Tottenham for one game. If we can just beat Tottenham in one game.
You bring up a good point. So, obviously, Man United's in 16th, Tottenham's in 17th. Like, there is a team from one of those two. There's only two options. One of those two teams are going to be in the Champions League next year, winning their Europa League.
Day before my birthday.
I think it's super interesting that you can be so down and have a really poor year, especially by two of your standards, and potentially be still given this like a lifeline almost. Hey, like you just got to win this one game and you're in. Now, with that being said, I don't know what's going to happen. Crapshoot for me. Both of you guys, Jacqueline Hyde, you could come out and look great, or you could come out and look like a 16th team, the 16th place team in the Premier League.
Yeah, I'm nervous.
What's your? What do you think of that?
I mean, United.
I think Man United are better. I think they're the better team.
It's actually funny that I think we're gonna bottle it, but we are gonna dominate, and we could win. But I don't know. I don't know. I can't. I don't even. I don't know. It makes me sick to my stomach just thinking about it.
I will say, for as dark as the times gotten for Liverpool for years in a row, it's never been this bad. So
thanks for sharing.
you'll
That's awesome. As you win the Premier League this year. Yeah, thanks.
Second time in 5 years. Yeah, with the Champions League title and 3 appearances in the final. Yeah, but like we were bad for a while.
Not as bad as Man U is right now.
No, but you have a good coach. You have a good roster. Like
I don't even know what's real anymore. Don't know if he's good. I don't know if the players are good. I watch him play and I'm like, these guys are fantastic. And then I'm like, how are we losing every game?
I feel about the Jets.
Like they're very talented players, and I think that something's wrong with the mental. Obviously, it's mental. My other friends are saying, no, Man United's roster is actually just poor. Like those guys are actually just not good. And I'm like, dude, they play for Man United. They're obviously good.
Just by default.
The Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's just hard for those teams. The mentality part is harder for those big clubs.
Sure, because you're living up to like an expectation. It's like you're playing for more than just there's history and there's heritage and there's all this stuff that goes with it. And the guys who just show up and just do their job, like it's not enough. But like that's the kind of segue, like there's a whole discourse around Trent leaving. And like Well, just to fill you in, so Trent Alexander-Arnold, who was academy guy, he's been with Liverpool for 20 years. He basically his contract ran out, so he announced that he's not going to be re-signing and returning to Liverpool, and he's going to end up signing with Real Madrid over the summer. And I think he made a statement or did like an interview or something last week. So this past weekend was his first game since that. Coach puts him in with 15, 20 minutes or something like that, and he gets booed. He gets booed by the home fans. And there are people that are like, you boo him because he gave 20 years of his life and service for this team, or is that just like par for the course? And there's a lot of different like opinions on how you handle it. And I don't know if there's another you can't really compare it to basketball and football because you grew up
Kobe
there.
Bryant. Kobe Bryant.
Yes and no. Kobe didn't grow up in LA. Kobe wasn't a Laker at 6 years old.
Tough comparison, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, you can't really. There's no athlete you can compare that to in any of the other sports, I think. I think soccer's just so big. I don't think you boo the guy that played for you for 20 years. You don't really see that in any other sport. And, not that guys are playing for 20 years, but Klay Thompson, his career at Golden State, gets traded. First game back at Golden State, they do a tribute video for him.
That's true.
They didn't boo him when he walked in the stadium or winning the game. Like, what are we doing? If I don't know the reasoning why he's not re-signing, and then Liverpool and signing with Real Madrid. If it's more money, like, you can't hate the guy for that. If it's wants a change in environment, you can't hate the guy for that either.
So the story that they're running is, and of course, like whatever they tell the press might for a sliver of it is the truth, but the story is that Liverpool offered him the highest wage or third highest wage ever in the league, and that the Real Madrid money wasn't even that much higher. It was more that he wants to leave for a new challenge and go do something different. And his best friend, Jude Bellingham, plays for Real Madrid. So it's like, do I think that there was a way that he could have handled it that wouldn't have got him like ridiculed from the fan base? Sure, but also I don't fault him for his decision. I get it. It's fine. I don't think you necessarily owe the club anything. You did your time. What I don't like is basically it was drawn out since last summer. So then he wouldn't talk about it. He wouldn't do the interviews. No, I'm not going to talk about it. Blah 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 blah. And then all of a sudden he's like, I'm leaving. Like, dude, just tell us. Tell us in August. Tell us last year. You know what? I want to go do this, and everyone's going to be, yeah, okay, we get it. But instead, you wait until we literally won the title. 3 days later, you're coming out and you're saying you're not returning. Of course, you're going to get booed.
Well, better to say it after you win the title.
True. Yeah, imagine if we bottled the title and then he says it.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. At least he's like, hey, just won another one for you suckers. And I'm going to Real Madrid. But I don't know. I think he's kind of soft. And I think he's shown it in last couple years. His performances defensively. He's not an intense player. He's more of a showy player. And it's, he doesn't seem like a leader to me. So I don't see the issue. I think he's a mercenary, and a higher paying job came calling. And I think when you're in England, there must be something to be said about the English press and its effect on the English FA, the English Football Association, because Rashford, Saka, when he missed the penalty, Cole Palmer, I really liked his interview. Yeah, first goal in 3 months. And the guy goes, yeah, you must be feeling good. He's like, yeah, obviously. It sucked to not score for 3 months. And he just looks at the reporter.
No,
He's like, "Yeah, you must have been down for a while." And he's like, "No, mate. I've been fine. I just wanted to score again." I'm like, "Yeah, like imagine just the press questioning you after every time you went into work every week. Hey, you showed up with a different colored shirt and your hair's not done. How's that? How's that affecting your season?" It's like, dude, I'm just trying to score. I think that there's something to be said about that, and Trent has definitely faced a lot of that. But he's been winning the whole time and has no major scandals and no major. I guess I agree that he
he's
shouldn't be
got
getting
one.
booed.
That was a couple years ago.
He's got some.
Yeah, his Wikipedia pages. There's a section under controversy. I'll leave it there.
Oh, well,
He was younger.
I didn't know
But,
that. At least he's not Harvey Elliott or these
That's
other guys.
Yeah, I guess you know what. I guess you're talking about comparisons. Terrell, I guess the closest thing I could say was like, imagine if it was like Steph, and he had 1 year on his deal, and he just never told anybody, and then at the end of the season, he's like, you know what, I'm gonna leave for, I don't want to say a direct rival, but another big team.
Honestly, thinking about it's a completely different league. The only time you would have to face him is in the Champions League.
Yeah.
True, that's true.
So it's like, I mean, they would have to be in the East would be the closest thing.
I was gonna
So it's
say,
like
yeah.
Steph's moving to
Boston.
Miami.
No, I would say Boston.
Ooh,
Like,
Miami.
right.
Miami would be like a villain. That'd be a villain look.
Like if Steph wants to go to Miami because they're going to pay him a little, then he's definitely not getting booed coming back to Chase. I know that for sure.
That's fair. Anyways, that's what Liverpool's got going on. But I'll be enjoying my fair share of celebratory beers when they eventually lift the title next weekend.
Yeah. Let's staying on the soccer topic. You saw Beckham's recent comments yesterday after Minnesota United beat Inter Miami.
I did not. Please fill us in.
So it was really cool. There was a tifo at Minnesota United that was saying culture over cash, and said something else basically along those lines. Years or history over hype. Yeah. History over hype, culture over cash. 51 years in the business, 1 point ahead of Inter Miami or something like that. And they said Pink Phony Club as their caption. And I was loving it. I was like, wow, these guys are really on it these days. And Beckham, they actually got him. They trolled Beckham. And he responded and said, know your place, show some respect or something at Minnesota United. And I'm like, oh my God, they made Beckham bite a team from Minnesota. Like that's MLS. That's MLS right there.
Yeah, that's a little crazy to me.
The drama is better than what's going on the field. Jeez.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. And I think at a certain point, if you're a pro sports team, like you have to drum up some of that drama, anyways. So yeah, if someone's gonna bite, someone's gonna comment back. I love that.
And I think when it comes to money in sports, it's not to just talk about my team, but hey, the little guy wants to compete too. And when the little guy beats the big fish, oh, it just feels that much better. When a Minnesota United can beat Leo Messi, I mean, imagine what that can do for the Minnesota soccer culture. That's got to be powerful. And those types of feelings should be accessible to all soccer people, all sports, to be honest. I mean, what if here's a question for you guys, and maybe Turrel with the basketball knowledge. What type of cities are missing out on the NBA? Are there are there major cities in the United States that don't get to share in that
100%.
level of basketball?
100%.
Yes.
And is
My city is on
Tampa?
that
Is that what
list.
you said?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got football, we got baseball, we got hockey. No basketball.
And
I
We got
do
do
think
you
back-to-back
see
hockey
a
champs.
future? Do you see a future where there's another? Is there a USL of basketball that could ever do anything, or is the NBA just growing, gone up at the moon when it comes to that sport?
That's a good question. I think it would be more NBA growing. I think we've seen we've
True,
got
you
our
don't need
Arena
another
Football
league.
League, and I just saw a commercial for UFL Sunday.
Mhm.
Couple teams playing Sunday, but we've seen a couple different leagues for football try to fill the gap
XFL. Yeah.
between NFL and college. Yeah, XFL, for example, that just kind of fizzle out. So I don't know if American sports culture sees that and it's like, hey, let's do a minor NBA league.
Yeah, You think what would it look like with NBA expansion? Like, is there a level that there's too many teams? I guess they already have so many games. It would probably
They
be fine with
play
more
they
teams.
play 82 games a season currently, and then that's not including playoffs. I think there's 30
32
Teams?
franchises, 30 teams.
30 teams. Yeah, I think
30.
there's 32 in the NFL. Yeah. There's definitely cities missing out for sure. I mean, I don't have a map in front of me, but I'd have to, pinpoint where all these teams are. Like Vegas, for example, they just acquired
Yeah.
football.
Vegas is a good one.
Yeah.
They and hockey. They don't have a basketball.
They would do
So
well. That would do well.
Actually wrote a little series last summer talking about cities that needed different teams, and Vegas is on there for sure. Seattle getting back an NBA team, I think,
Yeah,
would
that'd
be
be
massive.
cool.
do you bring back the Supersonics or do you change the
I
name?
would. I think there's so much history there, and a lot of success, and I think the basketball culture, especially like in Seattle, is like that's massive. Like there's so many people, so many NBA players that come from the Pacific Northwest, and having Portland right there, I think that you just bring back the Supersonics, especially with those colors, and the new arena that was just built in Seattle a couple years ago. That seems like a slam dunk to me. Um, and then another one, just in case if you want to continue to build, like you said, I think Tampa's a good option. Uh, and San Diego. San Diego had a team. Same thing. That was before the Clippers moved to LA. So I know that's adding another California team, but somewhere where you can play year round, somewhere where there's always going to be talent popping up there. They're going to go watch their team, and like I said, there's history there. So there's a couple options. I do think in our lifetime, more probably in the next 5 to 10 years, there will be more NBA teams added to the league for sure.
Yeah, that's cool.
NFL's the same way. I think the NFL's going to add. I think the NFL will add European teams full time in the next, I'm going to say, 10 years.
Oh, not to segue, but we were talking about Champions League, and I had this thought the other day. You know how NFL teams are starting to do like European games or international games, England, Brazil, whatever, Germany. What if they had a Champions League game in the United States?
Yeah, that's too high stakes.
Would that be I think that it could be a low level. It could be a group stage. Like, you know how they changed the format of the Champions League to the massive table and you just play a bunch of random matches. I mean, that could be kind of cool. I was thinking about
I think it'd be cool. Yeah.
I mean, maybe it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense to try other markets. I saw something the other day about one NFL team like merging with the EPL team. Did you see that?
No, but I
They're
did.
like,
I mean, owners wise, like the owner of the Jaguars owns Fulham.
yeah, to like mess around in different markets and see like how you can get more fans that are different from the fans that you already have. And I think that's where some of these cities, some of these teams, it'd be cool to see if some stuff changes eventually, you know.
And then speaking of one of my favorite sports days is coming up on Wednesday when the NFL schedule comes out, because I don't know if you guys follow like the social media whenever that drops.
Oh yeah, they're
The,
so good.
the teams, like those social teams, put so much work into dropping the videos of what their schedule looks like. Like one of my favorites, that the Chargers do it every year. That the Chargers do like an anime, like a almost like a trailer for like a movie, and it's all of the teams that they'll play against. And I think they're so cool. The teams get so creative. That's really fun because it kind of takes the focus away from like the on the field murdering that's happening, and more to like the fun social side of sports that I don't think gets talked about enough. Because football's such a serious sport. Like you talk to like an old person about football, they're like, "I want to watch blood on the field," and you never just hear about like, "Oh yeah, well, it's fun to watch like good players and good teams." So that'll be Wednesday night. Hopefully, just as my Knicks are wrapping up this series.
Hey, hopefully so.
Hopefully.
Terrell, let's do a vibes check. How you feeling with the Warriors game?
It's close, which is good, in my opinion. We're trying to close out the second half here, only down 3, but T-Wolves taking some free throws now. I think I'm happy right now.
Okay.
Down 3, down 4 now with a made free throw. Come out in the second half, clean up the game a little bit, and they have a chance. I mean, they're keeping it close. So long as they can play well for 4 quarters, because kind of fell off in that fourth quarter in the game 3, it's going to be a good game. Now, if we go down 3-1, I'm not going to be so happy. They're going to need to close out and finish. But vibe check right now, we're doing okay.
Anything else you guys got?
No, I'm appreciative of thanks for letting me guys come on. This is my debut.
Yeah, you you got subbed in the 13th minute.
I was ready. Actually, I
Yeah,
wasn't
appreciate
ready for
having you.
13 minutes. I had my shin guards missing in the locker room. I had to run back and get them.
The shin guards with the big Discord logo on it went missing.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
All I got is Preakness Stakes is actually this Saturday, May 17th.
Oh yes. Well, give us Terrell's horsey update, please.
Just a quick rundown. The Kentucky Derby winner will not be racing, so no chance of a Triple Crown. The Kentucky Derby favorite and runner-up, Journalism, is the favorite for the Preakness Stakes at 8-5 odds currently. Sandman, who was the second favorite and finished 7th in the Derby, is the second favorite again for this race here. I think they're like 4-1. 4-1. Yeah. Those are the only 2 horses from the Derby racing. There's only 9 horses, and this race is a little bit longer. So we'll see.
Okay, so where are we sprinkling a little dough this weekend, Terrell?
I'm going to sprinkle some on Sandman because Journalism, who's the fastest horse and was the favorite, ended up losing it in the home stretch versus Sovereignty in the Derby. Sandman, known for his backstretch, and I think he came back from like a 20 furlong deficit. I might have to fact check myself on that. But I think that horse has what it takes. I think the Derby was crowded with 19 horses, and this race only has 9. So I think he'll have a little bit more wiggle room. The race is a little longer, so more of that backstretch speed. And so that's where I'm gonna sprinkle dust here for me.
Okay, well we'll have to check in next week and see if your winnings hit your account or not. All right, well that's it for me, boys. Yeah, enjoy a little Monday catch up with how things are looking. Of course, it's. I'll tell you what. The mood of this entire night would have changed if the Celtics had won that game. So
Oh yeah.
anything we could have talked about would have been negative.
Oh yeah.
Would have been cussing each other out. Would have been throwing our mics across the room. So this was nice. This was a nice little positive.
Turrel, just wanted to say that's the most I've ever heard about horse racing. So I really liked that.
Yo,
Thank
of
you.
course, if you want to bet, I think you have to download the Twin Spires app, and then obviously, gamble responsibly. I throw a couple bucks on a horse, and that's all. So I'm not doing anything super crazy, but
I was gonna say, hey, no free ads. We don't use their name until they come to us.
They need to give us a sponsor.
for sure. I'm gonna rescind my comment earlier. I found it. Sandman. Let's see. It wasn't 20 furlongs. That's way too much. He ended up winning by 2.5 lengths.
Sure, whatever those two things are. Yeah, I got you.
So just had to fact check myself because
Is
I knew
that is that head lengths or is that body lengths?
I think it's body lengths.
Okay. You could have told me either. I would have believed you. So I don't know.
Pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's body, like horse body, obviously.
Okay. Human body lengths.
Yeah, they put humans out there and measure it.
The chain gang from the NFL comes out and has to measure it. All right. Well, I'm gonna leave it here while Golden State has the lead, and maybe that'll be some good luck for you. So, all right, boys.
All
Peace
right,
out.
guys.
Catch you next time.
Later.
Thanks, guys.